here, and I'm so excited to be here. I had a few days off streaming. We did a bit of a mastermind this weekend. Don't know if you caught the morning session that I shared here on YouTube, but I hope that you caught it. Hey guys that are on live, and if you're watching the replay, please leave a comment. I'm on here most days, sharing things that have really impacted and helped me to create, a level of success in my life, and it's a total blessing to be able to share it with all of you all as well. So great to see so many of you on here. Drop a comment in if you're on here live. Look, the premise of today is to talk about the self-improvement addiction, which I see to be one of the biggest challenges we face in today's society. We're told so often that the way we are is not enough. From you got to look better, go to the gym more, you've got to change the way you are, you've got to improve, you've got to be different. And it seems to be, a belief that we don't even consider could even be off. Of course I have to improve myself to have anything I want. Of course, that's the whole goal of life, isn't it? To improve. And I just think it's wrong, and I've got some evidence. I mean, if that was to be true, that you needed to always improve yourself, then I think when we looked at biographies of people, we would see them, these perfect, shining examples of what it is to be a human. You would see a lot of them have these huge, high self-esteems. It feels to me that, you've got to feel good about yourself. You've got to think a certain way. Who agrees with this? There's this whole, I guess you could call it a self-esteem movement that you must feel good about yourself. And if you don't feel good, well, heck, you're going to be a complete failure in life. But if you do feel good about yourself, you have belief and you have, confidence and you have all these things, well, then, you're going to achieve and fly high. So you'd think that when you looked at people who have achieved in today's society by today's society standards, you would think that all of them would be glowing examples of this, but it's just not true. Mariah Carey said, I've always had low self-esteem. David Bowie had enormous self-image problems. We all know about Michael Jackson. Bob Dylan said, all I can do is be me. Whoever that is, I can just be me. But it's not just musicians, it's all sorts of people. We think about Steve Jobs and Walt Disney, Hemingway, Einstein, Churchill, Roosevelt. It's just the more that you look at people who have got success, even Teresa and Martin Luther King, they didn't have this huge improvement obsession about that I seem to see right now, especially people who follow a channel like this, and it's probably true for you, is that we have this idea that we have to improve ourselves. And so we consistently are going out there searching for the next thing. And although, obviously, my life is a massive amount of gratitude for the things that I've learned and improved with, the problem becomes when people end up in an identity where they are consistently just searching for the next thing that they need to fix themselves. And it's sad because they don't just find a method or a model that works and then just work it, because they've come up with an identity that says, well, I've always got to find this next thing. I've always got to learn something more. And I see these even in my, in my highest level personal clients. I can see the person that has the addiction to learning. I've always got to learn this next thing, this next and this next thing. And so instead of doing life, they're always getting prepared for life. Or I see the person who's always on to the next modality because, they found a belief that says, oh, wow, I need to fix my trauma or my emotions. And it becomes an addiction. Hey, and so it's really interesting. And I want to just say this to you is that it doesn't really matter what you think of yourself. It doesn't really matter, it doesn't really matter in terms of creating and in terms of success. And I know that's a controversial statement, It doesn't really matter what you think of yourself. When we look at people like Robin Williams and, Heath Ledger, and, obviously their life, their life ended in tragic ways, but, they were able to create and to manifest and to do things a lot of us look up to. But what I'm trying to point out is this idea that you've got to fix or improve rather than just being you. Who hears this right now? It seems to me that it's one thing that's not allowed to be challenged in society is, well, of course I have to improve myself. Of course I have to get to the next level. Of course I need to strive to be better. Of course, it's like an unwritten rule. But what if you didn't have to be anything but you? In whatever way that is, whatever challenges or self-beliefs you have. What if you didn't have to be anything but you, because success isn't about what you think of yourself? What if that was true? What if it didn't relate? What if you didn't have to improve you? Just some ideas. I mean, when I think about business, our company's on track to do 10 million this year, and that's an exciting thing. But it's not about me. It's about this business. It's this structural system. And, like I have a great relationship, a great marriage, but it's not about me. It's not what I think about me. There's a way that it's put together. And it's interesting to me that this obsession with improvement. And so I've got some ideas with this. But the first thing is coming to terms with, a new way of being that says you don't got to be anything other than you are to create anything you want. And how much relief does that feel? You know what? I can just be me. I can just be me. I'm good enough. I was born good enough. Everything is absolutely perfect. It's just I'm cool. There's nothing I need to do. And then it's going, okay, great. So if we can get ourselves to that place and we can let go of this, I need to improve. I need to be, and starting to trust that, success isn't about us. Success is about. Hey, Cara, good to see you. Success isn't about you, It's not about what you feel or how you act. It's about something else. And it's really interesting because I feel like a lot of us are trying to justify our existence. And what I mean by that, it's like we judge ourselves. We say, I've got to do something big to justify. Hey, thanks for the thumbs up. It really helps. So give me a thumbs up if you're liking this on the little icon below. Hit that thumbs up. So a lot of us are trying to justify our existence by being somebody, by accomplishing something, by doing good things. We've got this critical time in our life. We say, did I do enough today? Have I achieved enough lifetime? Am I a good enough parent? Have I done enough? Have I improved enough? Am I getting better? It's like we have to justify who we are, and it's this assumption that inherently we're not good enough just being a human, just being us. There's something that we must improve or do or achieve, and then we're going to be better. And this is the biggest trap, It's like, if I have a bigger house, or if I make more money, or if I have a better relationship, or if I have this, it's a trap. It's like we're trying to justify that, we meant something, that we did something. And what's really true is it's just not about that, It's just not about that. It's about creating. It's about being. It's about enjoying. It's about all of these other things. And so my real download for you guys today is to really understand that it doesn't matter what you think of you. Success doesn't have a requirement that you do or be anything other than you. There is no perfect way to become the most perfect human. There's nothing like that. It's about you just expanding and being you and moving into whatever it is that you need to move into, it doesn't matter what you think of yourself. I think it's time that we put down this idea that self-esteem is something that we need to try to have, or and just realize that it's futile. I mean, even the most powerful and successful people on the planet haven't needed that. And by the way, what I mean by that is that it's nearly impossible, to try to get to this place that we think we need to get to, of this amazing self-esteem and confidence in every area. Because if you're doing that, you really wouldn't be on the edge of creating something new. You would just be doing things you already know. How can you be supremely confident and have self-esteem in areas you've never been in? It's ridiculous. See what I mean? It doesn't matter. It's not about that. And whenever you're doing something new, you're always going to be in a place of doubt. Do I understand how this works? Do I know how it's going to go? See? And that's what I guess that when you look at biographies of these rich and famous, I mean, Phil Knight, who founded Nike Shoes, he didn't let go of his accountancy job until Nike was making millions of dollars. And that was in the 70s. He was still working 9 to 5 as an accountant because he was scared about it. But then he builds this huge company. Like, he wasn't living in abundance that we're told, or fixed himself. He was just going, you know what? People want running shoes, that's his whole structure. People want it, I'm going to sell it. But who agrees with that? Interesting that they haven't needed to fix or improve in order to have. In fact, most of them, it hasn't been a focus at all. You look at Walt Disney, and we all know who he is, and he created such a big impact on so many lives, and just did great things. But he had all sorts of things going on. He wasn't confident. He had self-doubts. He had worries, and it's interesting, this whole you've got to be positive. You've got to be so confident. You've got to have full belief. All these things that we're told. Hey, I just saw a bunch of new people jumped on. Give me a thumbs up or a comment if this is landing. It's just true for me, and I hope you see it too. That all of those ideas, you've got to be positive all the time, or you've got to fully believe in yourself, or you've got to do this, or you've got to do that, otherwise you're a failure, is just it's just not true. It's just not true. And in fact, it's a waste of time trying to go for it, because if you always have to feel good about something, if you always have to have 100% belief, if you have to do all of these things, you can spend so much time wasted trying to get all of that right, before just starting, right? And before just going and doing and creating the new relationship, or the new business, or the new movement, or the new charity, or the new endeavor, or being a parent, or whatever it is, you have to go and do this. So really just understand you're good enough. There's nothing you need to do to justify your existence. You go make $1 billion, or you make $0. At the end of the day, you had a human experience. It doesn't make you better or worse. You create a movement, you don't. You have an amazing family, you don't. It doesn't justify your existence anymore. You're not a better human because you did that. You're just you. And by being you, you're going to be you. But creation has nothing to do with what you think of yourself. Nothing. How's that for a download today? Creation has nothing to do with what you think of yourself. Thanks, Kari. Yeah, me too. I fell in this trap. of I got to improve myself. In fact, I thought life was about improving yourself. It literally became my life's intention. I'm saying my gravestone, Chris Duncan improved himself. His life, he improved himself. Instead of going, you know what, I'm good, man, I'm cool, I'm fine. I've got doubts, I've got fears, I've got worries, and that's cool. That's all good. I'm still gonna go, and I'm gonna create. I'm gonna have an amazing marriage. I'm gonna create an amazing business. I'm gonna create a movement. I'm gonna do all these things. And yes, sometimes I feel doubt. I had nearly 900,000 people now watch my videos in the last 3 months. And, I still think, well, what if people don't like me? What if I say the wrong stuff? So it's very interesting for me. So today, just know you're good enough. You're more than good enough. You've got everything. You've got everything. You've got everything that you could ever need. You don't got to fix yourself. I think this whole premise of this self-improvement ideology that we've got in society is just keeping us out of truly creating what we love. Because our life becomes about this never-ending cycle of improvement rather than enjoying the moment, creating what we love. We end up getting taken on this whole sidetrack, and the sidetrack is I've got to improve and fix myself and improve and fit and get everything right, and then I can go, rather than just going and making mistakes, And it's interesting. I'm constantly going for things I don't know. I get these messages from some people like, "Hey, Chris, do you know that this isn't right? Or you haven't fixed this in your program, or that, or this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do, but I'm on the razor's edge. I'm going for it. I'm pushing. I'm on the edge of creation. I'm pushing my boundaries. And as you go in there, you miss things, you're doing things, but I'm in creation. I'm in the creation of it. I'm on the edge. It's not perfect. It's messy. It's chaotic. There's doubt. There's worry, but I'm pushing it. I'm going for it. I'm not holding back and trying to perfect myself and worry whether or not I get everything right all the time. I'm just going for it. And being in that, what happens is as you create, you figure it out. You're doing it, but you're not perfecting yourself, because it's a pointless aim, So thank you for spending 15 minutes with me today. If this resonated, hit subscribe, turn on the notifications so you don't miss any. Pop a share button, chuck it out on your Facebook or on your YouTube account. Copy the link, send it to some people. The best way you can support me and have me so enthusiastically wanting to do downloads every day is to get more people on here and share it out. So I appreciate you. I have an introductory session to our work, the superconscious change and the magnetic mind process, happening in about 3 hours. So if you haven't had one and you're hearing this live, find a way to be on that session. Hey, love you all, and talk to you all soon.